Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Kenn Bosak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Kenn Bosak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. Some Kenn bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get some Kenn Bosak.
And we're live, bros.
We're live.
Prove me wrong.
We're live.
What's everybody up to? What you doing out there?
I can prove we're live because observation affects the object, and all three of us just changed tone of energy as soon as I went like we're live.
I like that.
Bring it.
Good observation.
You could feel the being observed. It's I don't know. It's like a visceral thing knowing that there are virtual eyeballs staring at you.
Yeah, it is weird. I don't mind you like kind of virtually watching me. I've been tempted to just set up a Zoom feed,
Shower
in
cam.
my bathroom so that you can just pay attention to what I do all day. Many times I've almost done it. But that's for another.
This close to putting a computer desk right in the bathroom by the toilet so I can get work done while I get work done.
Be so convenient.
That's like, first off, that's multitasking. Second off, like such a great utilization of time.
As long as it's not like a walking desk with toilet, because then you're just walking on treadmill.
Have you seen the way the other people sit on a toilet?
Where they sit backwards?
Yeah, they sit backwards and they use the thing as a shelf.
They write notes.
They like have an elbow rest, and I'm just like, oh, well, that's nice. Like,
It's interesting.
Have you ever tried it? Because I ain't gonna lie, I've tried it, and it's the most unnatural, disgusting feeling having the backrest on your belly.
Yeah, no. I use the squatty potty, so like I have to sit like the normal way and use the squatty potty. Love it. If you haven't tried it, do it. It makes everything better.
Are there any interesting positions that you've been able to discover using the squatty potty? Any interesting poo positions?
Well, I mean, it's more like a squat position, right? Because you got your legs up. But like, I carry a lot of my tension and stress in my feet. So like using the corner to hit like pressure points on my feet while I'm taking a dump, like it's great. Like,
it's like
elevate
your hips and just kind of hover over the bowl.
I feel like you may have just reinvented the squatty potty to have a foot massager built in, or at least a foot bed.
Oh, that sounds great.
Squatty potty foot massagey.
There you go. And then the next version, you got to have the aqua foot bath, and then you get a little foot bath while you're. Yeah.
Yeah, I like where this is going. Wow, that is all right. So I'm gonna go check Amazon later to see if this has a Kickstarter or something going on.
It's one way to open a show, let me tell you.
So Jay Chain's my bro. Nice to see you, bro. How goes it? How you been?
Good, man. Crazy, busy.
I think the last time I physically got to hug you was at Shitcoin, like a year ago.
Yeah. Or you were at the you were in the booth and you were there. What were you there?
I was there with the bubblegum machine. I think I was putting the physical QR codes inside the bubblegum machine, which I have again this year. I have a whole bunch. Let me see if I can show them without showing them. What QR codes for the bubblegum machine, and I got a whole bunch of physical stuff. So inside the bubblegum machine was physical stuff with the digital stuff.
You're gonna get so soon.
I love it. So I'm super excited to see you down in Miami in just like a couple of weeks. I'm going out to LA at the end of this week. We're going to do some of the stuff for pre-conference for NFTLA. And then I'll probably stick out there for one day of that, but then head back, get ready for Miami, dude. I cannot wait to come down there.
Yeah, you're gonna have a good time, bro. We're going jet skiing tomorrow.
Like sometime this week.
Like you can just do that. You know what I mean? Like that's like a Miami thing. You're like, oh, yeah, we're just gonna go jet skiing. Whatever. Like sometime next week. Yeah.
We got to do that when I'm there, dude.
That's what I mean. So when you come down, bro, Jay, when you come down, we're going to have to go jet skiing.
I love it. I'm in.
Or rent a boat just and chill.
Yeah, Brian was talking about renting a boat and go down to like the Bahamas or something because I don't think you need a passport. I think all you need is a birth certificate.
You don't even need that. You don't even need that. When you're on a boat, especially if you rented it, you don't need shit, bro. You don't need shit. Just don't get the fuck off the boat. But you don't need shit.
Dude, there are pirates. Be careful in those waters.
There are and like all right. So being in Miami, I've been hearing some shit. If you go to the Bahamas in like your own boat, you might want to bring that stuff because like if they find out you own it and they're cops and shit, right? Like you get stopped by like their port patrol and they're like, "Oh, you own this boat?"
Here's a pro tip. The people renting the boats out are usually in contact with the people robbing the boats.
Yeah.
So one goes out, they magically get found by the people that are robbing boats. And they don't mess up the boat. It's weird. They just take the people's stuff.
We were looking at cruises too. But yeah, the Bahamas is possible in Miami because it's like 8-hour drive away on water or something.
That's not bad.
Not at all.
It's not that bad.
You could take like a fucking putter. We could row. We could row our asses to the Bahamas.
Let's just get some stand-up paddle boards and go all the way to the Caribbean.
Have you tried paddle boarding?
Yeah, I'm fat and I don't have a good core or center of gravity, so I'm not very good at it. I'm good at sitting. I can sit and paddle very well.
You said it with the confidence of somebody who's done very well, and I'm like, no fucking way, because I tried it and now I respect it so much more. Paddle boarding is misleadingly difficult. Like I saw a 5-year-old girl just like going 10 miles an hour and then catching waves, doing like 180s and still paddling, and she's like looked like a cat standing up. That's how small she was, right? And she's killing it. I try and busted my ass every single time that I just gave up and spent a lot of money to rent that thing just to like sit on it in defeat and admire and respect those who could achieve it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to think like, most of the time you're doing that on a lake where there is no waves, there's no movement to the water, whatever. But as soon as like, somebody comes by in a boat, or if you're on a river, or God forbid, you're out in the Atlantic Ocean trying to do this, like, fuck no, that's not working.
I was in Hawaii and it was very choppy and it was unfairly difficult then.
It's difficult when it's calm. There's no way I could do it with some chop.
Oh, there was chop for sure, but they made it look. They were like grinding the waves, man. But yeah, Miami's cool because it has like all that stuff to do, and that's why I love that. I can do shitcoin here, and that's why I moved here. And it wouldn't be possible without, I guess, like the mayor and governor being as cool as they are with crypto. This has become Miami's sort of becoming like a blockchain version of Silicon Valley for this like experimental zone. We have the FTX arena. Can't even use FTX, but we have the arena. There's a lot of crypto things happening here. We have the restaurants and the Bored Ape Yacht Club nightclubs opening here. A lot of like real life shit happening in Miami. Is there anything that you're looking forward to, like that version of Miami when you come out here? Like, have you seen like what is being developed?
I mean, it's been, obviously since the last conference that I went down there for like crypto specific stuff. But I mean, I did, who knows if we can get our company to move down there. I mean, we're based in Atlanta, so we're not too far north. But we are a crypto company. I would love it if we could have the conversation, because like I actually saw something that Wendy put out yesterday saying that I think it's Suarez or maybe it's DeSantis, is whoever's in charge of all of that, was saying that they want you to be able to pay your taxes with crypto. I mean, that takes out a taxable event, having to pull the money to pay your taxes, so you're getting taxed twice. So like, man, I love what they're doing. Yep. I wish that it would be happening more places, but who knows? Miami, maybe.
I hope to see the team move out here, because I think this is going to be this is a trampoline for springboarding, innovation a lot, just because it frees your hands from a lot, just like that in general with the taxes as a company is like, and there's so many more benefits. Plus the interoperability. There's so many projects out here that are just like intermingling, and a lot of it's NFT based right now, where they're like NFT projects, sort of like the Bored Apes, what is the other ones? The not the CryptoPunks, the Meebles or
the Meebits.
Meebits. Those, they're like, there's a lot of like synergy, and you can see it on the walls of buildings. You'll be just like, I'll be on my scooter. I got a scooter. I'll be scooting down the street, and you'll just see buildings covered in these club art. And it's their club. Like, like, oh, that's the Bored Ape Clubhouse right there. Like, oh shit. And then you'll see like a random small business using a Bored Ape in their like window. And it's just like a pizza store. And they're like, yeah, we're a pizza store. We ain't Papa John's, but we hodl a Bored Ape, and Papa John's doesn't. So like seeing that shit in Miami is like, that's cool. And there's a lot of like satellite events every other day. There's something insane to do crypto related.
That's Am I wrong to think of how it could be misused? Like, what if like a crime syndicate was like, we should buy a Bored Ape and just use that as our logo? And then like that starts popping up.
How cool would it be if the Yakuza had the Bored Ape though? Like,
just saying. I mean,
it's like it brings
it's true.
It brings like a whole nother level to like shop local or do local. I mean, I love that. It's like, hey man, we support the economy, we support the ecosystem. Look, we're even involved in it. Like, get rid of these big box stores, get rid of these multinational chains, whatever they're called, and support, like you said, somebody that has an ape or a Meebit or shit. Something smaller, just
Lazy
let them know
Lions.
you're in the community.
Can somebody make the Lazy Lions a cool thing? Because I thought they were going to be way cooler, and I bought one. I ain't mad. I got the hoodie. It's adorable. I love it.
You have a good one too.
I thought they would have got me into like, I don't know, like a Lazy Lion gay club or something, like a gay night bar that you could only get in if you had a Lazy Lion. But no, can't even get that utility.
Man, nothing.
Maybe in Atlanta they'll open a club.
Do you think that a size city like Miami is the appropriate place to try like those sort of micro economies? Or do you think a smaller city, like really, really small, meaning like a small
I think larger cities are probably better for that, because I mean, you have more options, you've got more real estate to try that. Whereas if it is a smaller city, it's like it may be too much of like a small town feel. I don't like where we live. We're like in the suburbs north of Atlanta, and like, man, that shit wouldn't fly here. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think you also need the money at the top and the disparity at the bottom to help create that tension necessary for like those local economies and systems to thrive.
You have to have lobbyists in your favor. You have to go where the lobbying is in your favor, and I think that's here in Miami. The politicians, sort of lobby for blockchain and lobby for crypto, right? They're very pro experimenting in this new technology. So I think that's kind of that deciding factor, is like, where can you build where you're not just allowed, but also encouraged and incentivized, right? Like, it's a lot of cities will say, hey, we'll give you a tax break if you open your company here because we need whatever. We need iron workers here. So, if you open an iron company, we'll give you a bunch of, kickbacks and benefits. And we'll even give you money to start your company if you do it here specifically. And I think Miami's going to be like one of the first places that are going to start giving people money to start a blockchain company here, and probably give you a grant to go to college if you're in high school and crypto. When these college courses start opening up, I think Miami will probably be one of the first places to have like a university course that's probably going to be like covered by like some kind of grant or whatever.
Yeah. Who cares? I mean, not that I don't say who cares. I don't want to like totally dismiss what you mean, but I'm thinking like, all right, like how can we make that even more important? Like to me, like my wife and I, we just had a kid. She's 6 months old. I have a 6-month-old daughter. Like we've already talked about like if
Daddy.
Thanks, man. Like thank you. If college is not her thing, great. If you want to go to college in the metaverse, great. You know, like I love the idea of like some of these projects now that are doing this learn to earn thing. Like let's tokenize and gamify education, make it more exciting, make it like move people towards like a track that they're going to enjoy. Not like if math doesn't do it for me, like why do I have to do so many years of math? If we're rewriting history, why do I have to take history for like 9 years, you know?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of this experimented on in the real world too, with like two-dimensional metaverse like schooling. You know, University of Phoenix is an online college, which is basically a two-dimensional metaverse for education. And then you see trade schools. You know how people can opt out of learning more about history and more about English after they've already learned about it for like 10 years of their life in school. They can just learn about a specific trade like plumbing or welding, and combining them in the metaverse, it's just seamless. It's just taking that online course, that a la carte education, and kind of plug and playing it. And I think that what we're seeing happen in the metaverse may relay into the real world, where these universities, like I think Harvard, Yale, all of these major colleges or universities are about to switch what they do completely.
They have to, right?
Yeah.
To survive, they're going to have to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how else they stay relevant. You know, like same like anything else. How does it stay relevant without adopting to the new generations? And your kids and your kids' kids are going to be less and less interested in going to these physical, out of the way, taking an hour to 2 hours, maybe 3 hours commute just to get there. I mean, people got other things to do, and it's a better way to learn. You know, so.
It's interesting that we might be having children learn in the metaverse before you have colleges really teaching about the metaverse. I don't know.
Shit.
That's really
that shows me how far we might be from adoption. I was just sitting here thinking like you can barely even take like you can't like go to just any random university and even learn like Solidity, I don't think. Like, and that's like the main language in terms of chain. You know, Ethereum's like the most popular thing out there in terms of devs and stuff, and people being needed in the ecosystem.
Definitely the highest paying.
Yeah, so like if those people aren't even like being welcomed into the normal scholastic environment yet, and it's still sort of like this rogue thing, or you have to transition from Web 2 to Web 3 programming, blah blah blah, like doesn't that show how many years away from adoption we are? Like that you can't just take classes on this stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, absolutely. I mean, we're probably several years away from that happening, but I think at the end of the day, like if you think about anything that good that came out of kind of this whole pandemic situation that we've all been put into, is that we can adapt, we can adjust, and we can live that digital life. I mean, we're all living in the metaverse in some way, because, if you were in business, like we had Zoom calls, every single day, multiple times a day. It's like you were not meeting in a office room, in a conference room with people. You were meeting on Zoom. So like we were already living in this metaverse, like you said, almost like a 2D metaverse, where it's digital re-representations of like this conversation we're having. I'm not sitting in the same room as you. Right. It's my audio is, you're not hearing me actually speak. You're just hearing the re-representation of it. So, in that regard, like it's really good that we experience that, and we know that we could handle metaverse style action. Communication.
We'll still always need the human interaction component though, because if you look at like homeschooling, like they do like a lot of virtual classes, and they have for like years now, they still have to get in physical contact with each other. It helps with development and things. I there's part of it, like I think, like, or part of me that hopes we don't go back to like just full lockdown or any other future scenario that kind of promotes that, because like I think that the social aspect being lost over the years could really affect our future.
Oh, 100%. We're actually, for the show that I'm on, Meta Money, we're actually developing and writing almost like a documentary series on kind of the pros and the cons, the lights and the dark of what the metaverse is, how it can change, humanity on a psychological level, on what you were just saying. It's just like, I mean, we have to remember that even if it's as cool as you found in Ready Player One, like we have to still have physical interaction with each other, or we're going to just forget who we are as people, I think.
Even on a chemical level, like if you look at like babies and mothers, like so the mother and the child, don't they produce like, what's it called, oxytocin?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's there's a chemical produced to help the child survive, essentially, and it's through love and contact, like human contact. So it's like, I wonder what areas of our adult lives are affected by that we don't, no one's ever really taken the time to notice or research.
Yeah.
And that kind of, if we go this way, or, we think we're going up when we're actually going down, like, I just need something to pay attention to. I don't want people to freak out, but
yeah,
I think it's good to look at the negative too, because we're always this hopium train, like we're going to the moon and this is going to change the world. We never, I don't think, stop long enough to think about the negatives, because we're so consumed with trying to convince people of something we really believe, like this is the future. But I think we should discuss the negatives too. And it would actually add validity to our arguments when trying to convince newcomers, because they'd see that we actually considered their viewpoints too.
Right. Yeah. I saw a lot of that with last year's shitcoin when we had the alt space, the metaverse event of shitcoin, which we're doing again this year. Check out shitcoinconf.com for info on that. But yeah, a lot of the newcomers, a lot of their problems, were easily resolved if, people just listen. So that's what we did. And we're hopeful that this year's virtual event will be much more enjoyable, especially for those that are coming for the first time. But that's a lot, like that was like crypto a few years ago, where we knew we had to have a different hand-holding experience for those that were coming into Bitcoin. And then most recently, kind of catering specifically to those newcomers during this NFT, wave. And that's sort of what's happening now with AR and these metaverses. They're having this wave of adoption and attention that it's so enthusiastic, and so much is unknown that we know as end users that we have to, specifically cater to the new adopters, because their first time using something is going to be what they hold with them for a long time. So if somebody has a bad experience using Bitcoin for the first time, it might take them a couple years just to even give it a thought again before they touch it. Same thing with the metaverse. I feel like a lot of first time, users don't have a good experience. They are could be turned off for years before they get something that interests them to give it another chance. And who knows if that second chance will go well. So I think it really matters, keeping in mind what could go wrong because of that. And I think what Zuckerberg kind of did with Meta and imposing like a 6-foot social distancing because of like virtual groping, like that's ridiculous that it had to happen. But the fact that they took that step, even though they knew they were going to get shit on for censorship and all this stuff, is like they're making it more comfortable for first time users. When it's somebody's first time in there and they're having people, virtually slapping them around, it's not a good experience. You're not going to come back.
That was, that you say that. That's funny. That was my first experience with the Oculus headset. Is I went into that VR chat world, and I go in and like I'm seeing like this dude pretty much get cyber bullied. It's like you can hear him like making fun of the kid, and almost like the avatars were like trying to beat him up. And I was like, "Hey, what's going on in here?" And they're just like, they started saying like some nasty things back to me, like "You're next." I'm like, "Get lost, dude! Like, no, you're not gonna cyber bully me in the VR. Get out of here."
It's weird. Yeah, it definitely needs to be taken into consideration. Like Ken said, like people just won't come back.
Right.
But yeah, that's crazy. Like I think it's like I'm sure this gets boring because I say like basically every show, but it's back down to our human nature. We got to address our human nature. Our tech's just always going to have issues.
That is true.
I think
there is a way for people to get weird, they will do it.
I think human nature is paradigm shifting though, as a whole. Like modern civilization is ready for its next step in that paradigm, and I think this technology is what may more so encourage it because of its transparency. Like what you hold, what you spend, what you're doing may be synonymous, right? But most people say this is my wallet, this is me, this is that, right? So the transparency of all of this, on top of the transparency we've already been experimenting with social media, with like a peek into my life with like live streams and Snapchats and Instagram posts, and how am I feeling or what am I thinking, whatever these social platforms ask you right before you make a post. I think that it's encouraging a consciousness shift in society as a whole to be more aware of this. You know what I mean? Like, I think the whole do good, get good, the whole like karma mantra, all of that is like the essence of blockchain. And the more that it's incorporated and ingrained into society as a technology, I think the consciousness comes with that. Like if you go to a Bitcoin conference or a Ethereum conference or a blockchain in general conference, the awareness of the people there, it's elevated. And I think it's due to the interaction with the technology. It elevates us. And I think the more people that interact with it, the more they elevate. We can see this in what we, unpopularly call like first world, third world countries, developing nations to make them feel better. We can see that their lack of interacting with the technology that we have interacted with affects them as a society, what they think, how they act, what is right and wrong, what is acceptable, what isn't acceptable. Morals and ethics change with the utilities of the technologies. And we've seen that already happen. And I think that this technology is doing the same exact thing. And in the metaverse is going to leapfrog a lot of time that it will take for that to catch on. I think I don't think we're going to have to see too many generations die off. I think current generations may have that switch with the newer generations. Unlike where we've had to wait for the older generations to kind of die off for the what was the younger generations to move up that consciousness. I think that switch is just going to happen.
I totally agree with you. And I think, if you look at, kind of the advancements in technology or even like the last like 10 to 15 years, seeing like older people, like our grandparents or whatever, like, using technology like Facebook and actually understanding it and being able to use it, it's like almost like, all right, now you're seeing like, our parents, maybe even my mom's in crypto, so she, it's not like too much for her. She obviously doesn't know anything about the metaverse yet, or doesn't really like, it's hard to like understand, that it's really just, it's being built. It's a lot of just games right now, it's gamification of a lot of things. And that's just where we are until we get better interoperability, more realistic style. And I use the like Ready Player One as just the example, because I think it makes it a lot easier for some people to understand that just don't get it quite yet. But knowing that you're seeing, older generations starting to actually blend in, you're right, Ken. Like you're not going to have to wait for, our grandparents and our parents to die to fully develop this and kind of adopt it, because they understand it. They understand technology better than our grandparents do, and then the generations above them.
Right. Yeah.
And it kind of counters something that we've often believed about human beings, that like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Like if people have been a part of society, they know how to adapt,
I love that.
Yeah. I love it.
I know it's weird to think of, but
so I wish that I was more into psychology, like when I was younger, and kind of like, getting my education and stuff, because like now, like it totally fascinates me, just about how like psychology, affects interaction, how it affects so many things. Like I didn't care anything about it when I was younger, but now it's fun to watch, especially with a kid, like kind of watching all these things happen. And I mean, she's just a little baby, but I've got many years to really watch it develop into like this little personality of a person.
No, you're right. Like it affects everything we do, especially in this environment. It's sort of easy to see when people are, projecting parts of themselves that are like, like there's something, there's something stirred up in them. Like it's super easy to tell that it's our psychology at play when somebody's like buying something one day and selling something another, and they're confident one day and terrified the next. And they're like it's such an interesting examination of human beings in general, like being in any sort of investment environment, I think, because you see this constant like struggle to evolve and survive and to profit and to get ahead. And then you also see those same people that seem like the strongest, like turn and run at danger. And then, people that you would have never expected, they stick with it, they figure it out. It's just like a weird thing. It's made me reanalyze the way I look at everything I do, I think, and all the interactions I have, because it's given me like a really interesting window into the human soul and like why people do the things they do and like what our core values are.
It's important.
Do you spend a lot? The diamond hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you spend a lot of? Yeah, it hurt. It fucking hurt. What do you mean that it hurt? That is the silliest.
It's symbolic. It hurts to hold on.
Yeah.
This hurt so bad. And shout out to Junkyard, my bro. Dude literally was counting down like Count Chocula, the lines every time the art John Dingleberry's my bro was doing this tattoo. He was like 5 lines left, 4 lines left. I snapped, bro. I just lost all control. I was like, shut the fuck up, stop counting. It hurt that bad. Like I
didn't even flinch on the face tattoo.
No, the face was fine. The palm.
So that's how I know it must have been bad. So I was like standing over you with the camera, and you're just like. You're like, you almost falling asleep, it looked like.
Well,
and then, like, you hear that. I'll send you that video. I found it the other day. It's dope.
Tweeted it, tag me. I'll retweet it. But yeah, man. Okay. I was wondering how much time you spend in the metaverse since you have the shirt on there. Take me to the metaverse. Yeah. I was curious what in your opinion is the metaverse that you want to be taken to?
My wife's got the cricket machine, so I made this just for fun. I spend, a lot of time just researching the projects. We work with, all this. I don't want to name drop, but like with BitBoy's stuff, we got a partnership with the Sandbox. So I still haven't even gotten into the Sandbox because the voxel thing, man, it just drives me crazy. I don't like those kind of characters. It's like, we're working with some of the other companies like TCG World or Everdome, where they're making more like hyper realistic. Like that to me, I'm more excited about. I'm not, which is going to sound funny, but like, living my life in the metaverse or like being so entrenched into this ecosystem. I'm not a gamer. I've never been a gamer. I've got terrible ADD, so I can't actually sit down for a very long time to play a game. But like, the Oculus, and I just did like Creed the other day. I'm going to come out with like a series of me like doing some training in Creed. And that's not really the metaverse, but kind of is. But that's more fun. Like the gamification of it really is kind of what gets me. And like, I'm going to do this series, like, can you get fit in the metaverse or use the metaverse or the VR headset? I kind of use them interchangeably. I don't know if I should or shouldn't, but I try to just live the ecosystem, understand what's going on, what's being built, because you're really not in any metaverse quite yet.
Right. Yeah, everything's like an introverse.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Did I just coin that phrase, like introverse? Because that's what they all are until they start like interoperability with each other. Then we can start using the word metaverse.
Right. I agree with you. I mean, it's just different games being built. It's, little ecosystems here and there with, fun things to do. And yeah, you can build a house and you can have your little meetups and you can chat with people and all that stuff. But until you actually feel like you're living there, man, I love that. It's the introverse.
Yeah,
I'm still on flying cars. So like I'm
still on flying.
I just don't have faith in being able to finish things. We don't have the flying cars. I saw the Jetsons.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's the name.
We don't have the hoverboard either, right? But Nike did give us the self-tying shoes. So they're trying.
They suck. It's like the phone that bends. Like the glass breaks. Like you bend it, you're like, yeah, it bends, and you do it, and you're like, why would you let me bend it? So you just want more of my money?
The Cybertruck. I
think at the end of the day, like I think that the more realistic environments will probably win out, just like we see in normal video games.
I think reality will win, and I don't think it's AR. I think it's going to be I don't think it's VR. I think it's AR, or augmented reality. That layer on top of the real world. I think Google Glasses were onto something back then. You know what I mean? Like,
that makes the most sense.
I think it's going to be like a Snapchat filter over the real world. I think that's what's going to win. Reality.
100%. I mean, because again, you can't take away the human interaction. Like there's no better synergy. There's no better kind of like energy when you're just face to face with somebody, when you're in that same room, when you can give someone a hug, like, hey bro, like it's Ken, it's so good to see you. Nathan, it's so good to see you guys. But like, man, it's not as good as the hug I'm actually going to give you in Miami next week.
Yeah. Big facts.
I'm going to take my shirt off and hug you guys.
So I wanted to mention, you'll be speaking at Shitcoin in the metaverse.
Yep.
In Alt Space's metaverse.
I love it.
Introverse. That's why I said it weird. I was trying not to say metaverse. I was saying introverse.
At the Shitcoin Introverse, I will be there. We're going to be talking. We're going to have a good time, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, did you want to talk a little bit about what maybe topics or something? Obviously, we're going to be talking about the metaverse, but anything that maybe you wanted. I didn't know if you had anything that you were going to be announcing or anything specific.
I don't know. I don't know yet.
Okay, a lot of people are holding like things close to chest to talk about it during the blockchain week in Miami. So I
always waiting.
Yeah, I always try to pry that shit out. I'm like, so what is everyone going to be? What are you guys going to be talking about all week?
So I, a lot of it's probably going to be like the same kind of stuff that we talked in this conversation, where it's the psychology behind it. It's what can we do as humans to help shape this? Because like Web 3.0, it's basically just the metaverse. Or I'm saying the metaverse is the same as Web 3.0. It's just the next informational system that will be the internet. But hopefully we do it right this time, because I think we all know that the internet as it was created is not how we use it.
Well, yeah, I think this two-dimensional screen that we have to interact with the two-dimensional Web 2, makes sense. And to have Web 3 be that next layer of user interface, the UI needs to adapt with it. And that's what I think virtual reality is when it comes to being in the metaverse, as far as really using Web 3. I think to really use Web 3, you're going to have to be inside of the metaverse.
Yeah, I'm thinking about something like that, or even can NFTs in the metaverse save crypto? I mean, like I say that, and people are like, oh, what do you mean Bitcoin's going to save crypto? Honestly, I don't think Bitcoin is going to save crypto. I mean, we all love Bitcoin, but it's gold, man. It's digital gold, and that's not a currency. Like I'm not out there paying for a sandwich with little gold shavings, So I think that, and I've got maximalist friends that all they deal with is Bitcoin, and I love you guys, and I'm not want to trash on them, but I think that there's going to be other options that are really going to help drive that space. Gaming is going to make crypto mainstream, and it's not with Bitcoin. It's with these smaller projects or something that will turn into a currency that is going to be obviously something. And I know I'm like scatterbrained right now thinking about this. Sometimes that hamster just starts going, and then staying on track is fun inside the brain, but just let it run. Just let the hamster run.
Let it run, dude.
That's what I was saying. Just let it run, bro.
Let it run.
But finding ways that some of these projects that aren't done, like I think there's going to be money to be made in Bitcoin. I think people still have the opportunity to do that, but it's not the life-changing money that if you got into Bitcoin in like say 2012 to where it is now, like you crushed it, but you missed it.
That could still be like Ethereum.
True.
If you look at like a lot of the price that people that are rich from Bitcoin now bought in, like around like the $3,000 to $5,000 range, and then it went up to like 70 and they sold. Like that's kind of where ETH has been riding. And you look at the future utility, they'll probably never move to ETH 2.0, but won't have to. Everything's a skill for them. And the value just keep going up, and it'll just be like the center of like a big spider web that all kind of.
Yeah, and it's the supply. I mean, like who's going to be satisfied with like, oh, I've got 1/10 of a Bitcoin, and yeah, maybe worth a ton of money, but like that's all you got, like, whereas like obviously there's a bigger supply, and obviously with a not a finite supply, you've got its own complications and whatnot, but it gives people more of an opportunity to get more of a whole coin or a collection of coins versus like, man, I got like 0.00001 Bitcoin. Like, yeah, I got some cash, but that's it.
Yeah, I think having one Bitcoin's cool, but having one, Bored Ape is way cooler. And price-wise, we have found that that's fair to say. It is cooler because people are willing to pay a lot more for one, and not willing to let go of one, less likely for the price of a Bitcoin.
But you have to buy the crypto in order to get the Bored Ape, and so I think
for now,
NFTs,
MoonPay, I think MoonPay and some other things get past that, don't they?
Possibly.
Everybody's just gonna use credit card eventually.
Yeah, I feel like Jimmy Fallon used a credit card to buy his Bored Ape. I think Jimmy Fallon talked about using a credit card to buy his Bored Ape.
I know like Gary V, him and like some like the guy who did like Fanatics, and there's like one other guy that's on the company. Their NFT platform, that's like what it is. Like I don't think you can buy with crypto. I think you have to buy with it's like you get an email address and a credit card, boom, then you buy your NFTs. So they're making it easy, but it's also, I think, sidestepping the whole reason why we're in this ecosystem in the first place is to make crypto what it should be. Get rid of the government-backed cash and fiat systems.
But people are using their fiat to buy the crypto as like a cash reserve and a future investment too. So they also don't mind taking more fiat to buy a potential one instead of like, transitioning one asset into another asset. I think they're just like, let's just gain more assets and let's get rid of the fiat. So I think that's like one extra reason that you're going to see people skip the using crypto and just kind of invest in it, and then, you know, use their fiat to buy any NFT stuff that they want.
Yeah, these NFT clubs are just starting. I think we're going to see a lot more of these NFT clubs, and we're seeing scarce ones. I think we've seen 10,000, some up to like maybe 100,000, but I'm still waiting for, you know, the first NFT one of one PFP club type thing with 1 million NFTs or more. And that could come from like a company like BJ's, you know, or Costco. You know, your next Costco membership could be an NFT. And that's
McDonald's.
That's all they have to do,
Happy
and
Meals,
have
you know?
millions of memberships out there, right? So I think that's going to be where things get real interesting, and us experimenting with that utility in the membership. It's gift cards 2.0, you know.
100%.
And I think, you know, getting to using crypto daily is going to come from using your NFT to get entry to, you know, the Amazon store, where you don't have to necessarily check out. You just walk in, fill your bags up with stuff and leave, and the money comes out of your account. But in order for that door to open to let you in, you're probably going to need an NFT. And your next LA Fitness membership may be an NFT, because they're sick of having you not use it. Maybe they could make 15% on the secondary market if you decide to sell your membership to somebody else who's actually going to go to the gym if you decide not to. So like, I think all that is that mass adoption into like Bitcoin being like used ever, it's going to come from NFTs in that way, where NFTs are going to be used every day as something, but maybe not as like a currency.
I love that. I mean, a digital ownership. I mean, that's what's going to move it, right? Give people the option to own their stuff digitally and use it how some things are intended. Like you said, your gym membership, a pass to a sporting event or a concert, you know, all these things like fraction, and even doing it fractionalized, where like, you know, me and my buddy, we split the gym membership. I can only make it like, you know, 3 days a week, and he can use it for the other 4 days a week or whatever.
Yeah.
Timeshares.
Yeah.
NFT timeshares would be cool, because a lot of pop-up events that like Bored Apes do and other clubs, like even V Friends, some people can't go, and they get a code that they get, so they can give that code to somebody, right? But you know, what if when they do start to level up that, right, where it's not just a code that you're getting, maybe you have to like scan a QR code at the door with your MetaMask wallet in order to gain admission. You're going to want to have some kind of like actual ownership, and I think time sharing these NFTs is going to be really cool too. Leasing and loaning, I think, is what's a real key to mainstream mass adoption of this like club type utility membership, because big companies are going to want you to be able to lease out, or they're going to want to lease it out, right? I don't even think 20 years from now, I don't think Tesla and Ford and I don't think we're going to be able to buy cars. They're just going to lease them out to us, and that's about it, because they don't want you to own the car, because they're gonna just lease it out to everyone's going to be. You're not going to own anything, and you're going to love it, is like a true mantra of where we're headed, and it's fine. I do love that if it works in my favor of like, yeah, right, I don't own the car, but I can also lease out the NFT, and somebody else can take it over that easy. I don't have to go through all these channels that I would have to go through to get rid of a card that I'm leasing. So I don't know, maybe, you know, big companies will get in after we pave the way, but I think that's going to be too late for them to make a difference. You know, this is where Tower Records fails and iTunes succeeds, Blockbuster fails, Netflix succeeds. Whatever is experiment really paving that way will be what is ahead. I don't think Century 21 is going to have like an opportunity to become like the metaverse realtor. I think whoever is becoming Century 21 in the metaverse, they're going to buy out the Century 21 in the fucking real world.
That's true. That's true. I love the whole thing about you're saying with leasing, man. I love that. Then, you know, we're seeing that with like play to earn gaming right now. We've got, you know, one of my buddies, you know, Brian, I do the show with, he's doing like the series on Bomb Crypto. I don't know if you guys know anything about that. It's basically just like a blockchain version of Bomberman, where you know, you mine and you can, they're going to enter some new modes and stuff, but you can do that where you can say like, now this, I'm going to say this, but then I'm going to bring it to another thing that really kind of, it's one of those gray areas about the metaverse and about all of this is child labor laws. So you lease out your NFTs to people to be able to play these games to earn money. And you can, like, as the person who controls the NFT is the one who gets to control the split. Well, what if you have a school, you're the computer teacher at a school or whatever, and you say, all right, this is what we're playing today, and everyone's playing this particular game. The teacher's making all the money on there, but you've got students that are underage. Like, so what's up with child labor laws? If you're getting children to play these video games, someone's making money off of them, but they're not. Where does that happen? But I do, and that's like the dark side of leasing out your NFTs for game.
Yeah, that brings up a real conversation, because that's happening today in the real world. I mean, like Call of Duty, Apex Legends, Halo. I mean, all of these companies have made money off of, kids essentially playing their games. So, and Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, I mean, TikTok, mostly kids use those platforms, which brings them to those billion-dollar valuations. So, I think YouTube had to deal with this pretty early on with their YouTube Kids and having, I forget what their 4-letter breakdown was of the new standard. But I think, this is going, that possibility will set a precedent for regulations, because he's not, that teacher, hypothetically in that situation, that teacher's not breaking any law, not just morals and ethics maybe, but not law, no repercussions. So I think we'll have, when those possibilities arise, I think laws will be written as people break them. So unfortunately, some people may get grandfathered out of repercussions, but they will inspire the rules to be written that will have at least maybe not prevent, because that's not law, like laws can really do, but at least they could have repercussions for when somebody does it again. So I think that's really what it's coming down to. And we're seeing, like I said, YouTube just had to have this conversation recently. I'm starting to see this conversation come up in gaming, and not even in regular esports, like not even in blockchain gaming. So of course, blockchain gaming is going to make it, it makes everything easier, even unfortunately those things. So I just think that's where, we have people that we can send to that classroom and, arrest and punish that person for taking advantage of the kids in that way. But it could be then taken into a different account. What if that's done by the schools? And for recess, the kids play these games, and at the end of the year, those who graduate, depending on your GPA, you get that percentage of that pot that the school has been earning. So I think there's a way to turn the bad into good, but it's always going to be bad actors first to everything. Bad actors are early adopters. It's inherently hand in hand.
Yeah. But then I love that, man. You take that, take that bad actor and the actions that they kind of put into play. You find a way to make it a better, outcome for everyone involved, and incentivize. I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you just don't want people turning things into Squid Game. That's all. That's like the other thing.
Well, that's where it could go. Yeah, play to earn could definitely.
I'm just saying. I've had this bad habit recently of playing devil's advocate and like giving the alternative and more pessimistic side, but like I know it's not my thing, which is probably why I think it's so funny to do it. But like, I think that's something to think about, right? I mean,
yeah. This is all so thought provoking. It's fantastic.
For sure.
I actually have like a Squid Games arena built in Uplift, which is a Minecraft server that uses NFTs and blockchain technology. So shout out to 3D Douglas, my bro, the architect, the madman behind it. But yeah, I hired an architect contractor, and I built Squid Games in the metaverse just to basically do that. I kind of want to have like a honeypot of NFTs and make people, compete.
It's so subversive, but
I love it.
Good.
Yeah,
it's in the metaverse. So.
Yeah, it's in the metaverse. Exactly. Nobody will get hurt. Hopefully.
No one gets hurt.
Hopefully.
Wait till the metaverse has been along or around long enough for people to like die wearing their headsets a lot.
People do that playing World of Warcraft. You sit at your computer playing World of Warcraft for so long, people get like blood clots in their legs and die.
You're gonna have ghosts like roaming the Uplift and stuff. Because people that have like passed, like,
is this how we get Ghost in Shell?
I mean, right? Exactly. The soul gets trapped in the metaverse.
Going on.
That would be so extra if like you were to be like a ghost and just decide to haunt people in the metaverse? Like, how extra of a ghost are you?
Or the metaverse is some other dimension and we don't realize it yet. And we crack into it kind of like in Stranger Things. And then stuff starts coming after us and coming through that thing. South Park had an interesting example of this too.
Yeah, this is how we end up getting. This is how we end up communicating with the lizard people and aliens on Earth is through the metaverse, because we won't even know they're aliens. They'll be able to blend into society wearing their avatars.
Yeah, you're gonna put on your headset. You're gonna log into Facebook, aka Meta, and you're gonna communicate with the gray aliens. And they're gonna send you signals, and then you're gonna do stuff, and we're gonna carry out their will.
Yeah, if you ever kid yourself randomly smoking meats, you've probably been brainwashed.
I need a green egg now.
All right, I guess we can wrap things up here, bro. Tell BitBoy I love him. Give him a hug for me. Tell
I will do everything I can.
Team, I love them, and see if they can stop by, shitcoin in the metaverse or the physical world. Who's all going to be in town? I know you'll be here, but who's all coming with the bro?
Dude, we got a crew. We got a crew coming down there. I will. I've already said, hey, I'm going to be doing some speaking there. Would love the support of the team. So the goal is to get everybody. I don't know if everyone can make it or if there's other obligations going on during the time that I'm going to be talking.
Yeah, there's a lot going on the same exact time as shitcoin because of this week in Miami. So I can't even be upset if people don't make it, but try to stop by if you can, bros. But yeah, there's a lot. And if you can't, just come to Miami in general. Like, dead ass serious, guys. Be in Miami this April. Be in Miami.
Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Hey, man, let's try to get. We want to try to get like tattoos while we're down there.
I'm always down to get a tattoo. Like, I just got a recent one right here. I got Nefty blocks locked in my speaker, bro Juan. My next one's scheduled to go right here.
Nice.
So we can definitely go together.
I'm in.
You down to get a face tat?
Ooh, I got it, man. I gotta have 10 mil in the bank.
You could get ERC 721 right under your eye.
Do it. I've been trying to get Ken to do it.
My wife said it's cool to tattoo my neck and my face, but I gotta have 10 mil in the bank before I do that.
All right, Shout out so next year. Next year. Yeah. Next cycle. We're done. Lock it up. All right, bro. I'll see you in Miami for shitcoin. Everybody, make sure you check out the Metaverse event happening in Alt Space. That's at shitcoin conf. Shitcoin CONF conf.com. That's like shitcoin conference, shitcoinconf.com, and you can get your tickets there. Donations are appreciated. Please go ahead and support the event. We did one last year, we're doing it again, and hopefully next year we'll be doing it. So come out to the shit show at shitcoinconf.com. It's so if you can't physically make it to Miami, what we're trying to do is at least bring a little bit of Miami vibes to you. So you could experience some of Miami in your living room or your bedroom or your bathroom. If you're taking a shit, stop on by Shitcoin Conf and you can just hop in the metaverse and hang out with us. I think we'll be able to play games in there too. Like in my one alt space room, I had like a basketball court and like beanbag tossing and all kinds of cool shit. So it's like it's sort of like an actual thing. Like you guys really should check out these metaversey event things, because like it's not just like walking around and staring at people. Like you can interact with the environments, and that's what's fun.
Yeah, 100%. If you can't be in Miami, just sprinkle some sand throughout your house. Make sure it's indoor sand, of course. Fill your house with the indoor sand. Pretend you're in Miami. Pop on the broadcast.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Jay Chains, love you, bro. Oh, give me that hug.
Metaverse hugs. Or no, introverse hugs.
Introverse. Yeah. That's what they are for now, at least, right, bros? Thank you, D&B, Steve R82. Good times with Mellow Matthias. Much appreciated. Techage, Artificials with the Dingleberries. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to share this if you're watching it on Twitter. Hit me with a retweet. If you're watching it on YouTube, please share the YouTube live stream link out. If you're watching it on Facebook, go ahead and share this. Share it in groups on Facebook, and then go ahead and uninstall Facebook, delete that shit, and head on over to like DLive, Float, or Odyssey, any of those platforms. We're live on almost 10 platforms every day, so much appreciate everybody who's tuning in. Have a day. See you tomorrow.
Have a day. We love you.
Bye.
Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Kenn Bosak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Kenn Bosak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Kenn bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get your Kenn Bosak.